So, hello, dear Boy Scouts worldwide. This here is the original Boy Scout hat of my late father. And this here is the original Boy Scout uniform that he wore in 1957 during the World Jamboree in England. Amongst his belongings, I have also found some picture material that I'm going to show you as a slideshow now. Yeah? And I'm also going to comment a little bit on it. Some words in advance. Please have in mind, yeah, the camera was a camera with the technology of 1957. Well, and the photographer was not a professional photographer, he was a teenager. So maybe some pictures are a little bit blurred or the angle is not perfect. Yeah? So do not expect an absolutely perfect slideshow. Yeah? Don't be too strict on the pictures. But you can see and you can recognize enough to understand what an exciting, what a beautiful, what a unique event this was in 1957. Especially for German Boy Scouts, only 12 years after World War II. So enjoy the slideshow. After the slideshow, I'm going to explain the badges and the patches that are on this uniform a little bit more in detail, as far as I know what they mean. So, see you later.
Well, let's go back in the year 1957. Here you see the coat of arms, the badges, and the boys would take the train. Here we see an old steam locomotive, and they were welcomed by a band playing music. They arrived shortly after 4 o'clock, and the atmosphere was very, very positive. Here the baggage is loaded on a truck. The camp is erected, 2 poles with the flags. The flags are hoisted, and soon after the nations march into a big field to line up. Here you can see my father in the first line. That's the German delegation. And here you can read the names of many other nations that took part, such as India or Ghana. Here there is an African Boy Scout from that continent. There's even a delegation from Japan, and they all come together in England to celebrate peacefully a big party. So last instructions are given. There is royal visit about to come. And guess who it is? Is it the Queen, or is it a baron or a lord? Well, let's see.
Prince Henry, Duke of Gloucester, the president of the British Boy Scouts, came to the Jamboree to open it in his big Rolls Royce. One can recognize his coat of arms above the windscreen on the following picture. My father took a shot when his car, the car of Prince Henry, was passing him. One can also recognize another person in this car, and this is Lady Baden-Powell. Unfortunately, her face is a little bit covered by the frame of the window. Lady Baden-Powell was the wife of Sir Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of the Boy Scout movement. She was 32 years younger than her husband, and after his death she did a lot to found I think it's called Brownies, the girl movement of the Boy Scouts. Here is a short movie clip that shows Prince Henry opening the Jamboree and passing the crowd in his car, waving at them. Again he passed my father, who took this picture here. The Duke of Gloucester was not the only attraction of that Jamboree opening. Look at this picture. All the people are looking in another direction. This Scotsman in his kilt is walking in a direction away from my father. And yes, here she comes, the Queen of England, in her car. Here she's shaking hands with German Boy Scouts, and my father shook hands with Queen Elizabeth.
Well, many Boy Scouts had accommodation in English families, and here you can see a mother and a daughter together with their two German guests. Here Boy Scouts are cleaning their shoes, probably about to enter the house, and so they get ready. Well, the fireplace was so impressive that the photograph took a picture. Must have been something. And an English lad delivers fresh chicken eggs, probably for breakfast. Yum yum. And the lemonade is excellent and very, very good when you chill in the sunshine, as this Boy Scout here. Of course they went on excursions, and usually they would hike through the countryside, as it is typical for Boy Scouts. And in those days it was the cheapest way, and still is the cheapest way, to travel. Here you see a group of them marching in rank and file. Well, the English weather, it is foggy and misty. Nevertheless, the mood is excellent. Break time. Yeah, time for a little luncheon. The backpacks are opened and the bread and the butter and the sausages get unpacked. Well, here we are in London. A British bobby, a police officer, unarmed in those days, and the English double-decker buses, quite something for young boys from the continent. A soldier on guard with his huge fur hat, a typical tourist attraction. A line of people queuing up in front of the tower entrance, waiting to get a ticket. And this picture is taken from the tower, from inside, looking down into the yard.
Well, another picture here is presumably, or was presumably taken in the London Zoo. It shows a kind of artificial landscape, an artificial waterfall, and in combination with the other picture, which is definitely a huge hippopotamus, it must have been taken in the London Zoo, On this picture here, one can recognize a bison. Yeah, it's a very bad quality, the picture, but one can recognize a bison. Well, they also went to the British Museum, and in this picture you can see the Rocket, the first English locomotive. So there are a few pictures. I don't know where they were taken or if they were taken in England or not, maybe on the way to England or on the way back. There's one picture that shows a chairlift. I don't know where it might be in England. Absolutely no clue. And another picture shows a church, and my father told me that they had gone to Stratford-upon-Avon as well, and I guess it is the church in Stratford-upon-Avon, but again, I'm not sure. Well, every nice and lovely journey has its end sooner or later, and so had this one. The Boy Scouts packed their rucksacks, they were taken to the station again. Here they are waiting for the train. One cheeky boy is jumping on the railway, and I don't know where my father was when he took this picture. And this must be the station in Birmingham or in London, I don't know. So that was the Jamboree, and as promised, I'm going to show you his uniform, his Boy Scout shirt again, explaining the badges that are on it. And on the hat, here you can see the Boy Scout, the Boy Scout badge. This symbolized a lily and a leather belt around the filled head. The German flag on the left chest of the Boy Scout, to mark him as a German, and the blue Boy Scout lily. The lilies are also on the buttons, as one can see. That's a button of the chest pocket, and on the shoulders the buttons are also embroidered with the lilies. This badge here, the red one, was especially designed for the Jamboree in 1957. Every Jamboree has its own badge. The number says 1957 and BP, probably for Baden Powell. And the badge on his right breast pocket is the badge that points out that the Boy Scout movement was 50 years old in 1957. The symbolized hand of a Boy Scout with a Boy Scout greeting, and that's it. The shirt itself is made of a very heavy cotton, which is still in excellent shape. Also the colors, it is not washed out or has not been worn out. It is in very, very good condition. So thank you very much for having watched this movie, and I'm saying goodbye. Take care. you.